Welcome to the HR Empowerment Podcast, where we will uncover strategies and new insights from HR professionals who discuss up-to-date regulations, best practices, and the most pressing topics like diversity and equity, leadership, dealing with difficult situations, and much more that affect your bottom line and business. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's Wendy Sellers, the HR lady. We are in episode 2 of 5 in the series on preparing to fill a job opening with or without a recruiter. We are here with Donna Beckett as our guest, who is a recruiting expert. Welcome back.
Hi, Wendy.
Hey, let's chat about finding the right candidate. That's so easy, right?
Don't we all wish?
We do, actually. We wish it was easy. I don't think it's ever been easy.
Never.
Even during times of recession, it was never easy. Oh, I'm just going to put this job ad out and everybody's just going to flock to me. Well, if they're desperate, they might, but that doesn't mean they're the right candidate because they're desperate and willing to take your pay, right?
Absolutely.
So what are effective sourcing channels, and what the heck do we even mean by sourcing?
Well, there's several different things that you can use. So job boards, social networks, internal referrals. That's always a great one.
Oh, yeah.
Utilize your people that already
Right.
work for you. But I love LinkedIn. It's a great place to find individuals who are not necessarily working.
Yeah.
Or looking, excuse me.
Yeah.
They're working, they're not looking.
Yeah, or they might be actively unengaged at their current job and on LinkedIn all day looking for a new job.
Yeah.
So they're technically working somewhere else, but they're just like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
What about Indeed?
Indeed is a great source as well. I as a recruiter, I find Indeed works really well for the level of individuals who are not necessarily on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
In some cases, not all cases, but
Yeah.
I would say lower level roles.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say, your best bet, whether it's a lower level or a higher level role, experienced or not, is put a job ad on both of them, right?
Absolutely.
Indeed and LinkedIn. Now, if you absolutely know our candidates are not LinkedIn, then skip over that. What about the unemployment office?
You can definitely go there.
Yeah. And folks, it's free. It's free, at least as far as I know, in pretty much every state. So every state has an unemployment division. People usually go there when they get, let go of a job and they're like, hey, I need to collect my unemployment benefits. In some states, the unemployment benefits are pretty amazing. In many states, they are not at all amazing. But people can go there, collect their unemployment benefits. But usually to do that, the state requirements is that they have updated their resume and then put it on the unemployment division's candidate recruiting site. Anybody, if you're an employer, you can go and get an account on your state's unemployment site for free. Sometimes it's a little complicated. You have to do 700 things and, fill out forms and everything. But once it's on there, then you can go through their candidate database. Again, not always the best source, but definitely not the worst. If you have an amazing training and development plan that you said, hey, we're just looking for really good people, we'll teach them all the skills to use, I would definitely suggest the unemployment office, Indeed, and then of course also LinkedIn. What are your thoughts on that?
100% agree.
What their resume has to be like amazing and built by a king or queen, right? No. You mean all the resumes you get aren't amazing? There's no typos, nothing like that? You wish.
Yes, I do.
But withhold judgment, right? Depending on the role?
Well, I mean,
Yeah, if it's a box packer role, do they need to know how to spell?
Nope, they sure don't.
Right. So put yourself in their shoes that say, hey, I was paid to pack boxes today. And you're yelling at me because I had a typo on my resume. Like, if you want these people to have a great education and a perfect resume, you better have a much, much, much higher pay for somebody who is in an entry-level job. So that's my piece of advice, going back to the realistic side that we were talking about before. Talk to me a little bit more about like social media use for sourcing.
Well, Facebook actually has job boards now. I don't know exactly what year that started, but I've heard
it's been around for a while.
Had a lot of success with that too. So it's another way that individuals can network. Networking is key, right?
Yeah, it really is. and folks, if you are on, considering using Facebook, for example, for recruiting, join groups too, right? So if there's like a manufacturing group in the area, the zip code that you live in or the state that you live in, join as an employer and start getting friendly. Now, that is when I would say, double check your spelling and everything and your attitude. Just say, hey, we're an amazing company. Be careful who is monitoring your Facebook posts. I've seen some doozies out there, even just on Indeed, where employers are putting like really nasty job ads. They're like, here's a job ad. Don't contact us. We'll contact you. What are your thoughts on that?
How are you going to attract anybody with that attitude?
I know, right? It's like, hey, no, we love you. Come reach out to us. JC, you have some stats on sourcing?
Using a recruiter can reduce time to hire by up to 50% and expand access to a wider talent pool. But it does typically cost 15 to 25% of the hire's first year salary. This trade-off helps companies fill specialized roles very quickly, but it might limit internal recruitment development, something to be mindful of. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Like what he's talking about is what is it called? A headhunter?
Headhunting. Yes.
Yeah.
Direct sourcing.
But not all recruiters, including yourself, are headhunters currently, correct?
Not all of them, no.
Yeah. So you have to ask questions of, hey, how am I going to pay my recruiter? Is it going to be by the hour? I've seen, especially since the pandemic, that most recruiters are charging by the hour, not commission. Now, I do see still high level executive positions, but even not just executive positions that say, hey, we're going to take 20, 30% of your the position that we fill. They're not that we're going to take their money. We're going to add extra money on that and we're going to get, $20,000. But I see a lot more recruiters just charging by the hour.
Yeah.
So regardless, commission or by the hour, it gets costly.
Absolutely.
Especially if you don't have your ducks in a row.
Yeah. Yes.
Get your ducks in a row. What other pieces of advice do you have for possibly, using an agency or versus an internal recruiter?
I think you have to look at what position you're looking for. Is it something so specialized and so hard to find that it would benefit you to work with a consultant or an agency recruiter that has a network built already? Consultants and recruiters, they network, that's part of their job.
Right.
So they have, the pulse on the market of what's going on in different industries. So they may have insight and ways of uncovering candidates that you wouldn't even just by your job post.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was last year, I want to say, you and I were working together, could have been earlier this year, working together on a client, and another client called us for a job opening, and Donna literally had the candidate from our other client, and so we filled their job like in 2 hours. I was like, listen, this is not normal, but we have the perfect candidate for you, and that's all we're charging you for. They're like, we love you. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to episode 2 of our 5-part series on preparing to fill a job opening with or without a recruiter. In our next episode, we're going to cover screening and shortlisting. Thanks for joining us. Take care.
Thank you for joining the HR Empowerment Podcast, brought to you by Aurora Training Advantage. We hope you've gained new insight and strategies to navigate the HR profession. We look forward to you joining us again on the HR Empowerment Podcast.